wanted to have a say in what movies are chosen for watch-alongs on YouTube channels? Do you want to have your voice heard? Are you disappointed in the channel owner's choices? Now you can. Dead Eights on Deck wants to know what content you want to see discussed. Stop by my live streams for your chance to pick the next watch-along I cover. Throw your hat in the ring when you give $5 or more in Super Chats during my next live stream.
Howdy, gang, and I hope you enjoyed that little commercial that is also on the Deadites on Deck channel, advertising your ability to throw your hat in the ring to pick a movie for an upcoming watch along. Dakota Thomas has already fulfilled that for himself, and he may fulfill it for himself again and again. If others don't jump on. Now, I'm not one to beg for money, and I'm not one to say that, you're not a supporter of the channel if you don't do this. But for those of you that want to and can financially, you can do this and help support the channel and also give yourself an opportunity to have some input on what watch-alongs I do upcoming. Now, this may expand to other avenues in the future, including what programming you would like to see, what movies you would like to see me review, like on Terror Time Tea, which I'm getting ready to start here in just a second. And in fact, I'm also putting my new little banner for Deadites on Deck, reminding you to like and subscribe, which costs you absolutely nothing. But if you feel so inclined on the next live stream I do to give a super chat of $5 or more, you can throw your hat in the ring to pick a movie to possibly be chosen for the next watch along. Now, I'm going to make this fair. If there's only one person that does it, like in the case of Dakota got the pick, and that's going to be our upcoming watch along for this upcoming Saturday for Eli Roth Thanksgiving. So you can thank Dakota for choosing that movie. Now, if there happens to be more than one, let's say there are two people that give $5 or more super chats during my next live stream, okay? Then those people will each get to pick a movie or maybe a couple of movies. But I think to make it fair, they would each get to pick a movie. And okay, if two people do it, thinking more about this, if two people do it, one person will get their pick on Saturday, the second person will get their pick on Sunday. Okay? If it's three or more people that give a super chat of $5 or more during my next live stream, I will have to put all three choices in a hat, and I will have to pick that out. Okay? And in that case, I may pick two of them out of there, right, for Saturday and Sunday. But the more people we get, the more choices will be in there for me to put in a hat and pick one out. And I'm going to be, if I have to pick out of a hat, I will actually be doing a video showing you guys I'm not cheating. I'm putting all these in the hat, I'm mixing them around, and I'm picking one or more out, right? Okay, so there'll probably be at least two choices per weekend, okay? Because right now we're only doing this for watch-alongs. And if this is successful, it may move into, what kind of reviews would you like to see me do that I haven't done? What directors would you like me to cover? We could do a lot of different things. And this is so that you guys feel like you're, number one, supporting the channel. Number two, you're getting something in return, right? So it works out good, hopefully, for both of us, for me and for you guys as well. Okay, so a little explanation of what that is going to be all about. And I not realize I'm not going to have much tea during the actual reviews today. But I like to drink it while it's hot. You don't want your tea getting lukewarm or, dare I say it, cold. But moving on to the topic at hand for Terror Time Tea tonight, I am going to be covering a Blood Rage this Thanksgiving. It's not cranberry sauce, and indeed, the Thanksgiving in this movie, it's not cranberry sauce, folks. I'm going to talk more about that here in just a second. And in honor of this upcoming watch along we're going to be doing on Saturday, Eli Roth Thanksgiving. Okay? So, these I have chosen also in honor of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday. So, I may throw some movies in here that aren't even horror movies, folks. We've got things like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We got Home for the Holidays with Holly Hunter. And so, we could mix it up a little bit. I know it's called Terror Time Tea, but nothing says that we can't mix it up a little bit. Okay, y'all did indeed get to see me drink my chunky watermelon tea today, so I just drank it fast. So, on to Blood Rage. Blood Rage, to give a little background on my viewing history for Blood Rage. It was also under the title Nightmare at Shadow Woods, and I had never really heard of this movie before. Until I became totally obsessed with watching everything that Ted Raimi was even a little tiny bit in, okay? So I was looking at his filmography and I discovered this film called Nightmare at Shadow Woods, aka Blood Rage. And I was like, this is a horror movie. It's got Ted Raimi in it. Now, yeah, it does have Ted Raimi in it, but don't be looking for a lot of Ted Raimi, folks, because he is in a blink and you'll miss him performance as a condom salesman in a drive-in bathroom. When have you seen that last? Okay. So he doesn't really have any lines in it. He's showing off all the different condoms he's got, and he kind of waves at this one guy and all that stuff. So he just comes up to these guys and opens up his vest, and he's got all these condoms in. It's a funny role. It's not a dialogue driven role by any stretch of the imagination, but hey, I wanted to see everything Ted Raimi was in, right? So, but I also like the movie. Yeah, some of it's a little hokey, some of it's a little over the top, but a lot of times I like those kind of movies, okay? So, the movie starts out, in that drive-in, because I said, Ted Raimi shows up at the very beginning of this in the drive-in bathroom selling condoms. Okay, so you get that. Another funny thing is you have Louise Lasser, folks, from Mary Hartman, in the role as a single mother who's making out with her boyfriend in the drive-in with her two twin sons, Todd and Terry, who are supposedly in the back seat asleep, right? The idea, I'm not making fun of Louise Lasser, but the idea that Louise Lasser would be making out with some guy and he's filling her up and stuff at a drive-in just makes me laugh every time I think about it, makes me laugh every time I see it. And so her and the guy who looks a little like Bruce Campbell to me, some people might disagree, but the guy she's making out with looks a little like Bruce Campbell to me. So Todd and Terry wake up and, they say, Mom's at it again. And they sneak out of the car. And we soon find out that Terry is not well mentally. Terry likes to kill people at the drive-in, evidently. And he has a psychotic episode. He takes a little hatchet and hatchets this guy to death. The same guy that earlier was buying a condom. So he hatchets up this guy, blood's everywhere, right? And then, his mother is still making out with the guy. She hears, a bunch of screaming going on. And then here's one of her boys. She hears Terry screaming, Mom, Mom, Mom. And we've seen in a scene preceding that one that Terry smears blood on Todd, who's catatonic by this point by what he's seen, and puts the hatchet in Todd's hand. So Todd gets blamed. Todd gets sent away to the mental hospital. Why they insist on calling it a school, I don't know. But people refer to it as a school. Todd has escaped from his school. When he escapes later, they say he's escaped from his school. Nobody can find him. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever, But by this time, I was embroiled in the movie and was enjoying it to the utmost, even though there were some idiosyncrasies in there, right? So years and years later, Terry's grown and he's going to college and they're out for Thanksgiving break, and he's got a girlfriend and they're playing a game I think they're playing football or something, and he sees this other girl jogging with. This is something else I can't understand. Why would a girl that is in college or getting ready to go to college be jogging with a woman that looks old enough to be her grandmother or her mother at best? Okay. But she is, and Terry sees her and he's got wondering eyes, and his girlfriend notices and is talking to their friend Artie about it. I don't know who that is, but you can see Terry obviously looking this chick up and down. And this is evidently, we find out a chick, Andrea, has been around the block a few times, okay? And this is all I'm going to say about that. And it seems like almost everybody's had a piece of Andrea. As Joe Bob says, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. So we go on and we realize as watchers of the movie at the beginning of it that Todd is not the crazy one. It's Terry. But Terry was crafty, he was wily, and he figured out how to avoid going away to the mental hospital, okay? And so in the meantime, Todd does escape and tries to make it back home because he's finally, coming around and talking after many years of, basically being catatonic. And he wants to tell people, including his mother, I'm not the one that killed that person at the drive-in years and years ago. It was Terry, you know. So, Terry's or Todd's doctor and one of her assistants come to the apartment complex where Louise Lasser is living, and she is engaged to the guy that owns the apartment complex. Okay. And she finds out during Thanksgiving dinner where they have an oddball group of people there. There's Terry and there's his mom, and there's the guy that she's engaged to now. And Todd's none too happy, or saying the wrong name. Terry is none too happy when he finds out his mother's getting engaged or is engaged. And that sets off another psychotic string of events for Terry. Okay. Where for years he's acted relatively normal, but now that his mother is engaged, he's not too happy about it. Because I think Todd's got some unhealthy infatuation with his mother. I don't know if everybody will catch that, but I certainly did. So, and I think the mother has an unhealthy infatuation with her son as well, with Terry. So Terry, he flips out and starts killing people off. And when he finds out his brother has broken out of the mental hospital, he's like, gee, I can blame it on Todd again. I can blame it on him again, just like I did many years before. And I can get rid of the guy my mom's going to marry. I can get rid of a bunch of other people, and I can blame it on Todd. So I don't know. I think this is a wacky, fun little movie. Like I said, despite the idiosyncrasies in this film and things that, seem almost unbelievable. There's great gore, of course, if you watch the uncut version. Okay. Which, if you get this version that was put out by Arrow, I think it has like no less than 3 different versions of the film. One is a composite that kind of looks kind of crappy, but I prefer to watch the uncut, just the straight uncut version with nothing cut out of it. So it has some great gore. It has some great kills in it. Interesting kills. It's so wacky and over the top at times that for me, it just adds to the enjoyment, right? So, in case you're wondering what rating I want to give this one, which is all part of Terror Time Tea, right? I'm not going to give it my top rating, but I am going to give it 4, possibly 4.5 deadites out of 5 for Blood Rage. Okay. Now, the next one, this being an Eli Roth film, and I forget that whenever I take that lower thirds off of there, or when I do my rating, it takes my lower thirds off. So I'll put that back up there for a little bit. So Eli Roth's Thanksgiving, I'm not going to lie here. I tried to be positive going into this, but I have not been a big fan of Eli Roth's work for many, many years. So I was hesitant. About Thanksgiving, but I told Steve and I told many other people, I'm going to go into this movie with an open mind, and I am just going to go in there. I'm not going to watch any reviews. I'm not really going to see what anybody says about it. Just going to go in there with a clear and open mind and make my own decision on what I think of this movie. And what I thought of this movie is I absolutely loved it. In my opinion, this is the best Eli Roth film that he's ever done. You know, and I didn't mind Cabin Fever, but to me, this is better than Cabin Fever even. And of course, I didn't like the Hostel movies. I hated those. I thought they were stupid and asinine and just there to purely to titillate, I guess, the male audience. Just did not like them. I didn't like the Green Inferno or there were a lot of Eli Roth things that I didn't like. Okay. But Thanksgiving is to me, and apparently to many other people that are old school slasher fans, this felt like an old school slasher. You know, so you have a really bad thing that happens at the beginning. Yeah, it seemed a little over the top, a little bit extreme. But then someone appears to, a year later, be getting revenge for this incident that happened. Okay. But the killer is, you know, wearing this mask and this hat and all this get up. So we don't know who the killer is. Now, some people may be able to guess who the killer is, and I'm not going to give away who the killer is because there may still be people that haven't seen Thanksgiving yet. And I am not one to spoil things for people, okay? So there's some great gory kills in this one as well. Definitely old school slasher territory. I absolutely felt like I had been taken back in time, that I had gotten into the Wayback Machine, or I'd gotten into a time machine or time warped back to the 80s. I honestly, the way this looked, the way it was designed, the actors that were chosen for this, all of this worked together to create a dazzling display. I mean, it's been said this is Eli Roth at his best. I think Eli Roth, in my opinion, I think Eli Roth has finally found his niche. I think this is the kind of films that he should be doing. Because I discovered Eli Roth is really one of those old school horror film fans. And when you hear him talk about movies that he likes, he generally likes movies like he's created with Thanksgiving. And I love to hear him talk about them. When Joe Bob had him on the last drive-in, that was a turning point for me of how I felt about Eli Roth. I couldn't stand the man before, but then when I really listened to him and listened to the passion that he had for these old school horror films, he you know, it pulled at my heartstrings, my horror heartstrings, because I was like, gee, you know, here I spent all these years not liking the guy. And he's just like me. He likes the stuff that I like. And now he's created something that I like very, very much with Thanksgiving. And I'm really excited. I'm so glad that Dakota picked Thanksgiving for the watch along for this coming Friday or coming Saturday. So without further ado, I'm going to give this baby 5 deadites out of 5. Good job, Eli Roth. You've restored my faith in you as a horror director. There's no doubt. about that. Keep making these things. And so that is it for me. I went on a total of about 26, 27 minutes. So I don't want to stay on here so long that I bore you guys and gals. But I guess I am off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody before I get off of here for the night, as I always do, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday, folks. And let's kick the work week's ass all over the place, Monday through Friday. And I hope that many of you are able to be off and enjoy the weekend. Be sure to go over and visit deaditesondeck.com, my horror shop. I'm getting ready to put up some holiday themed t-shirt designs, which will also be available in hoodies for those of you that would like them in a hoodie whenever the weather decides it's going to get cold. You might want some of these holiday designs on your cold weather gear, okay? So they will be available on hoodies and or sweatshirts. I think I'm going to go with hoodies, but we'll see what I'm able to obtain. Okay, but I'm saying hoodies for now. Okay, but they also will be available in t-shirt form for those of you that wear t-shirts all year round. I do a lot when I'm on the inside the house. You know, I'll wear t-shirts and stuff like that, and I'll bundle up with a blanket if I get cold. But if I go outside, of course, and it's bitter cold, yeah, I want to have something a little more substantial on. There's also going to be some new t-shirt designs and a bunch of other stuff that I want to put on there. I did create the first Rosemary's Baby Fresh candle. Ooh, it smells good. If you like baby powder, Steve says he's not too fond of baby powder, but I'm hoping some of you guys and gals out there are fans of baby powder. So look forward to all this stuff upcoming. I promise it's going to make its way on there. I always keep my promises. I may be a little late on some of my promises. But I'm out of here for now, folks. But I'll see everybody next time.